It takes hard work and dedication to get the truth. Hard work and dedication to get the truth. What's up, family? Yeah, don't adjust your sets. I'm outside, hanging out here by the water. You probably really can't see it, but hey, it's getting a little dark out here. But I just wanted to be by the water just to come talk to y'all tonight. So hope you're doing good. Hope you're well. Chances are I might not be out here too long because I ain't trying to stay out here in this cold. But it is. I just wanted to be by the water. So what's happening, family? What's good? Hope you're having a great week. Hope you're making it do what it do and continue to push forward. But yeah, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and talk. Let's go ahead. Let's go forward. But as we always do, let's go ahead and do it. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right. Yeah, so I'm out here. That deep breath right there was a little extra special right there because I'm out here by the water. So being by the water is just a little different. So I just love being by the water. I don't really want to get in it other than taking a shower, but I'm not trying to be in that water. But anyway, I just love being by it. So me, it just love being by the water. Anyway, so look, so yeah, I need some gloves. But anyway. But I'm just excited to be here as always. And we, this Thursday is a special time. And so, just thinking, and I want y'all to go with me here. So, just think about this. I'm going to ask you a question, but I don't even really want you to answer the question. I just want you to think about the question though. So think about where you are in your life today. The point that you're in your life today. And before I go further, let me say here this first. Please keep my wife and the family, all of us, in your prayers. My wife is not here with me tonight because unfortunately her father passed away, and so my father-in-law is going from labor to reward. So just keep us in your prayers. Anytime you lose anybody. It's never easy. And so we're going through our transition right now, our transition period. And so just keep the family in your prayers. And that's the reason why my wife is not here with me. But let's do here. Let's go here. So I want you to think about where you're at this point in your life, right? And just think about the decisions, the choices, the route that you took to get to where you're at. Okay, just think about that. Okay, and shout out to my guys at P Barbershop and Salon. My guys Eugene and Lee. We have some great conversations in that shop on Thursday mornings. I get excited about it, and some of that conversation is kind of what I'm going to talk about tonight. But again, let's just think about. Let me get back on task. But just think about where you're at in your life and the decisions that you made, or some of the decisions that you didn't make. I mean, everything that up to this point has led you to where you're at today. And so now when you think about that, the question is, I need you to be honest. Be honest with yourself. You ain't got to answer. You ain't got to tell nobody. Just be honest with yourself. When you think about that, everything that has transpired to the point of where you are today, this very moment, where you at in life today, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Those thoughts, are they negative or positive? Be honest with yourself. When you first think about those thoughts about where you are today, now I believe we all have had some good and we have had some bad that has happened in our life. We have some choices we done made that we wish we hadn't made, that we made some choices that we're glad we made, right? But when you think, what I love to say, the sum total, when you take the sum total of all of those things and you think about where you're at today, does that produce negative feelings or does it produce positive feelings? Do the negative feelings pop up in your mind first, or did the positive pop up in your mind first? I'm just curious about that. Because the reason why I'm asking that question is because I thought about this. And I'm gonna be honest with you. God knows I have had a lot of great things. I've had a great life, and I pray I continue to have an even greater life. Um, but when I thought about where I'm at today, I just got to be honest. I started thinking about the things that I should have done that I didn't do, or the decisions that I made that probably had I did it differently, I'd be in a different position than I am today. So all the negative thoughts, the shoulda, coulda, woulda thoughts, is the first thing that popped up in my mind. Why didn't the positive ones kick in first? I don't have an answer for that, but I just thought about that, and I want you to think, just why do we focus in, kind of hone in on the negative, on the stuff that didn't happen, or the stuff we don't have, or the things we should have done, or the things that we did that we wish we could change, or the negative thoughts crop up and take residence and is in the forefront versus the positive. Why is that? Why do we do that? Why did you do that? I'm still searching for the answer. I just wanted to get you thinking about that, because that's what happened with me. Okay. Now that might not have happened with you, but that happened with me. And I just got to wonder why do we look at and focus in and hone in on the negative? Now, I asked that question today at the barber shop, and we got to talking about that. And one of the reasons why is simply because we're born into sin. We're born into sin. And the act of sin, there is nothing positive in the act of sin. Hear what I'm saying? In the very act of sin, whatever it is, there is nothing good about that. Because sin is doing something that's contrary to God, right? It's something that we know we ain't got no business doing. Okay? And so, but that doesn't mean that something positive can't come from it. But the very act itself, sin, is negative. And we're born into that. And so I guess that self, I can't even think of the word, but we focus in on the negative because it's the worst. We trying to protect ourselves from the worst that can be, right? And because we're trying to protect ourselves from the worst that can be, we're preparing for the worst. Why can't we prepare ourselves for the best? Why can't we begin to say, okay, all right, yeah, that didn't happen. That I made that bad choice, but I have opportunity over here. I have people in my corner. I have opportunity. I can make a difference. I can make a change right now that can move my life in the direction that I really want it to be, or improve on the situation that I am, right? So just got to thinking about that, and y'all I don't even know where I'm going right now. I just know that I just look, we have opportunity to make our situations better. And I'm on here every week talking about that, right? And in some way, shape, or form, I'm talking about that every week, about you going after your dreams and goals, right? We got things we got to do. We got places to be, people to see. We got the lives to impact in a positive way, because the gift that's on the inside of us, somebody needs that, right? They need what you have. And so we got things to do. Okay. And that's the reason why God has given us opportunity, because we got things we need to do. So now, I think it's in Matthew 6:27, I want to say. Y'all might have to fact check me on that, as I always tell you. Matthew 6:27. And the verse says something to this effect, where who can add an hour to their life through worrying? Who can add, through worrying, an hour to their life? Who can do that? So what I get out of that scripture is that You can't worrying about what done already happened, the decisions that you made, whether it was good or bad, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas from the past, are not going to do you any good if you keep harping on that. If you stay there, it's like this: you get a book for all y'all book readers. I'm still trying to get there, but all you book readers, you get this book, and you really itching to find out what happens in this book. You want the full story. But you keep going back to chapter 1, and there's still 8 other chapters in this book that you need to read, but you keep going back to chapter 1. How you going to get to the story? How you going to get to the end? How you going to really understand everything that happens if you keep going back to chapter 1? So let's look at our lives like that. If I keep going back to what I did or what I didn't do, how can I move forward to what I'm supposed to be doing? How can I move forward to be what I'm called to be the person I'm supposed to be, if I keep going back to what I didn't do or what I did do back then? So it's time for us to say, you know what? Okay. What is my plan going forward? What is my plan going forward? Now, I got 3 people I want to call on as an example. And I picked these 3, and I'm going to tell you the reason why I picked these 3 as I talk about it. The first one is David. I want to talk about David. Many of y'all know David. David was that guy that had that little slingshot. Okay? And this big giant in front of him. Nobody else wanted to deal with the giant. David was like, I got it. Confidently speaking. So what did he do? He took his little slingshot, and it just so happened that he pulled that slingshot back, let that joint go, and it got right in the middle of the head of that giant. Giant done. Giant slayer. Giant killer. Right? That David. The David that became the king after Saul. Right? That David. The David that God himself said, a man after my own heart. That David. But also understand that's the same David that tried to do something dirty and call it clean. And what did he do? He set dude up to be killed because he wanted dude's wife. Now y'all tell me what's good about that. That's all kinds of wrong. Now, why did I talk about David? Because that's an example of right there where David did something he had no business. He was absolutely wrong. He was dead wrong for what he did. There was no excuse. He was wrong. But had David stayed there, had he stayed in that mess that he made, he created, had he stayed there, his future would not have been the same. Had he stayed there. So the moral of that story right there is that, yes, you made a bad decision. Yeah, you did something you ain't had no business doing. Yeah, you did it. You tried to call it clean. But just like David did, he asked for forgiveness. He asked for grace from God. He asked God, please forgive me. He repented. And what did he do? He moved forward. He had to pay the piper for that. Yes. Got that taken care of. Asked God for repentance. And he moved forward into his destiny. Next one I want to talk about, Job. Let's holler at Job. Now, Job was a guy, he ain't do nothing. He was handling his business like you're supposed to. And here come the enemy saying, I want to test him. And God even said, have you even considered my servant Job? So Job was put in a situation where he lost everything. Lost his family, lost his cattle, lost his home, lost his land. He's losing everything. He lost his health. He barely had enough health just to even live. And then he even had his wife the one who's supposed to be his ride or die, the one that's supposed to be in the trenches with him, supporting him, helping him, encouraging him. She told him, why don't you just curse God and die yourself? His own wife told him, why don't you curse God and die? That's how bad it was for him. I picked Job because some situations that have happened in our life, that may happen in our life, we have no control over. But we have control over how we deal with it, how we react to it. We have control over that. We don't have no control of what somebody else does. We don't have no control of what somebody else says. You on your job can't decide. You don't make that call on the job because you're not the owner. You're not the CEO. They said we're going to go left and you want to go right. It makes sense to you to go right. But they said, no, we're going left. You don't have that call to make. And it affects you. Now, it's going to affect you. It might affect your bottom line. It might affect your status on your job. It might affect something. But how you deal with it can make a difference on how you come out on the other side. Job said, you know what? I'm not going to curse God. I'm not going to die. And I'm going to continue to trust God. And what did he do? That's what he did. And he ended up getting double for his trouble. Last one I want to talk about, and I'm going to get out your way, but last one, because hopefully you can see yourself in David, because yes, you probably did something you had no business do, but you're still here by the grace of God. You might want to take a look at Job. We all had a Job experience in some way, shape, or form. Might not be on the same level as Job, but we all have had a Job experience. My last guy I want to holler at is Noah. You know the Noah, the one that built the gigantic boat called the Ark. That guy, right? Now, reason why I picked Noah is because Noah was in a situation where God told him, I want you to do X, Y, Z. Okay? Now, he did X, Y, Z because he heard and believed that God told him, I want you to do X, Y, Z. And he did to a T. But why he doing X, Y, Z? Yeah, here come the folk. Looking at him sideways. Probably, folk gonna say some slick stuff out of their mouth. They gonna put their mouth on it because it don't make sense to them. Right? And then you got some folk that you think should be helping you or encouraging you. They act like you don't even exist. They don't even care what you're doing. They ain't paying you no mind. I think that word is called apathy. Right? And so you have to deal with, I want you to, why did I pick Noah? Because you need to see in the fact that in your life, you're going to have to do some things that actually, you're going to expect some help. You expect some folk to support you. You're going to expect some folk to be in your corner. You expect some folk to encourage you. And just the opposite going to happen. Just the opposite going to happen. But how much do you believe in what it is you're supposed to be doing? How much do you believe in where you're supposed to be going? How much do you believe in what God is telling you to do? Where he's trying to take you? How much do you believe? Because if you don't believe, then what the naysayers got to say going to take residence and going to be some truth to that. So, if you don't get anything out tonight, just know the fact that what didn't happen has happened. It's time to move forward. It's time to go make it do what it do. It's time to go seek out what it is you're supposed to be doing so that greater can happen in your life. What didn't happen in the past didn't happen in the past. We learn from that. We move forward. There is greater for you. There is greater in you. And that greatness that's on the inside of you that needs to come out is for this world to help them. Because somebody needs your help. And as a result of you helping somebody else, guess who gets the blessing? Guess who gets blessed beyond measure? Your blessing is being tied up because you want to stay right there where you're at and licking your wounds. Yeah, you messed up. Yeah, you made a bad decision. But there's some guys, as I just talked about, there's some more folk that's in the Bible that are messed up. And guess what? They moved forward, and what God had planned for them manifested itself, and they got the blessing like never before. So that's what I need you to feel encouraged about. It's time to go forward. It's time to go make it do what it do. It's time out for worrying about the past. And don't even worry about the future. God got that. You trust him. You keep rocking with him. He got you. But you can't keep going back to chapter 1 when he's trying to take you to chapter 10. Pray, plan, prepare, proceed. Love you. Go make it do what it do. I'll see you next week at 6:30. Love you.